everyone! This video is about some difficult words in French that have nasal sounds. I already have a video about nasal sounds on my channel where I go into more detail about how to produce the sound, how to move your mouth and articulate it. And also it is a fun one because we practice with one of the songs by Stromae, so definitely check this out after this video. The link will be in the description. In today's video though, I wanted to practice with some particular words that may pose a challenge to language learners. Before we get started, I just want to remind you that I will exaggerate my pronunciation when I pronounce French words so you can see the difference, and also I will ask you to do the same just for the sake of the exercise and for gaining this muscle memory faster. Overall, nasal sounds are quite a challenge for many students with different cultural backgrounds, linguistic backgrounds, because nasal sounds do not exist in many languages. So it's just hard to produce them on their own for someone who just doesn't have the concept of a nasal sound in their language. And also it may be hard to distinguish these different nasal sounds like nasal a, or nasal for people who are just not used to them, and this is fine. In French there are 4 nasal sounds, but we can actually learn only 3 of them and we'll be good. And that's because one of the sounds is kind of often not pronounced and replaced with a different sound in the modern standard French. So we'll need to learn nasal o, nasal a, and nasal e sounds. How do you know when you pronounce the sound? When you see a vowel plus n or m letters, such as when you see on or om, you'll pronounce nasal o, such as maison. When you see an, am, or en, em, you'll pronounce nasal a, disons, an, disons. And when you see en, em, or ain, ein, etc., you'll pronounce nasal e. So there's first definitely this difficulty to remember the reading rules. So you have the association of en is actually pronounced as nasal e. But what's even more difficult is to remember how to produce it and also to distinguish it. For instance, to understand the difference, to hear the difference between nasal a and nasal e. Today, we're not going to be learning the reading rules. We're going to be trying to learn how to distinguish the sounds. And the first group of words is going to be va, vont, va. The first word here, va, has nasal e sound. What's up with the idea of nasality overall, actually? This can be useful to understand the idea. So usually when you pronounce vowels, what you do, you push air through your mouth. And by changing the shape of your mouth, like how wide it is open or how close it is, you can change the sound itself. With nasal vowels, the situation changes a little bit. So instead of pushing the air through your mouth, you push it up through your nose and you kind of block the air. You do not let it pass through your mouth. So this is why the vowel is called nasal. With nasal e sound, what we do, vin, we start the sound here and we push it up through our nose. And if you just put your hand right in front of your mouth, you should not feel your breathing when you pronounce nasal e sound. But for complete beginners, I find it useful to kind of do the opposite. Try to exhale when you pronounce nasal e, like va, va. If you are completely new, if you cannot make it right from the start, this is something that can help you. Meanwhile, also you should smile like this. Your tongue is very relaxed. It can just lay down on your lower teeth like that. And also you drop your jaw like that. Va, va, va. Right now I am exhaling. When you manage to do this, you can try stopping the air and pushing it through your nose, and that's going to be more accurate nasal e. Va, va. But nothing changes here, so it is still like a smile, and you drop your jaw. And then we've got vent. Vent has the nasal ah sound. Well, the idea of nasality is the same. So you push the air through your nose, not through your mouth. So just in very simple words, which I often use in my videos, you feel like you start your sound here and you just push it up through your nose. That's the only thing that's the same. So everything else is different from nasal a. First, shape of your mouth. Notice, for e it was e, like this, right? It is smile and we dropped our jaw. For nasal a, it's on, it's more rounded this time. So it's closer to just regular a. And we do not move our jaw. So it's on. It stays the same. And as for va, which is a form of the verb aller, to go, it's just regular a sound. There is no nasality. What you do, you exhale through your mouth. Ah, va, va. Le vent est fort aujourd'hui. Le vent est fort aujourd'hui. Le vent, nasal a. Va chercher le vin, s'il te plaît. Va chercher le vin, s'il vous plaît. Vin, nasal e sound. So, I know that for many speakers, this does not make sense. And you will probably not hear the difference. But this is fine because you can actually start by noticing the difference. If you can notice the difference, the different movements that I make with the different sounds, and if you can produce the difference, eventually your ear will catch up. You'll start noticing the differences between the sounds. Next two words, Brun, parfum. So the difficulty here is yet again nasal e sound. Strictly speaking, it should be nasal in these two words because un should give us nasal but let's forget about it for now and let's just learn nasal and pronounce it as they do in modern standard French. So again, if you're not getting the difference, if you're not getting the sound, let's just try to exhale when we pronounce it for now. Brun. Remember, smile, drop. Brun, brun. Parfum, parfum. And try to make this irritating sound, you know, brun, like this, just for the sake of practice. Of course, as you practice and improve, it's not gonna be just this intentionally irritating sound. And if you can, block the air, push it up. Brun, parfum. Attendre, entendre. Atteindre, éteindre. 4 words that may just sound exactly the same for you. First of all, they are all different. They mean different things. So which is why it is important to nail these different nasal sounds so you can actually distinguish meaning. The first one is attendre. We've got the just regular a sound here, attendre, and then it is nasal a because n always give us nasal a. So attendre. Temps, nasal a, shape of your mouth. It's more rounded. You do not move your jaw. On. You start the sound here, push it up. Push the air up through your nose. Attendre. And only after you finish pronouncing this nasal a sound, you move to dr. So it should not be attendre. You should not have this sound. Attendre. So attendre is to wait. Attends-moi. Wait for me. Attends-moi. moi. Entendre. Entendre. This is a minimal pair. So a minimal pair in a language is a pair of words that have completely different meanings, but they are only distinguished by one sound. So entendre, the first sound is nasal A. So we've got two nasal sounds here, the same sounds, two nasal A. So instead of attendre, we say entendre. You block the air and you push the air up through your nose. Try to compare like this. Attendre, attendre. When you pronounce A, you should feel your breath. And for the air comes out from your nose. And here we've got two nasal A. Entendre, entendre. Tu n'entends pas ce que je te dis? Tu n'entends pas ce que je te dis? And the third one is atteindre. Atteindre. So it's very similar to attendre. Well, all these words are very similar, I'm sorry. But so the difference here is that the first sound is just regular A. The second one is nasal E this time. So it used to be nasal A, now it's nasal E. And we pronounce it like so. A, just regular A. Atteindre. So to pronounce it, we spread our lips a little bit and drop our jaw. Atteindre, atteindre, atteindre. Tu vas atteindre la gare à temps. Tu vas atteindre la gare à temps. And the last one, it is my favorite because I find it the easiest to pronounce. Éteindre. And I find it easy to pronounce because e fermé is very close to nasal e sound in terms of your lips position. So it's also your lips are spread, you kind of smile, but your lips are closed together, like e. You just show off a little bit of your teeth and that's it. Éteindre. And then everything you need to do is just drop it. Éteindre, éteindre, éteindre. This is to turn off something. For example, tu peux éteindre la télévision, s'il te plaît? Next, enfant, enfin. Again, the difference between nasal A and nasal E. Enfant, two nasal A sounds. Enfant. And the second word is with nasal E. Enfin. Difference is in your lips first, and second, you drop your jaw. Enfin, fin, fin. Enfin, l'enfant s'est endormi. Enfin, l'enfant. And the last one, comprendre. It is not probably the most difficult word to say, but it is definitely very common word to say. And also it is, well, it has nasal O sound and we have not discussed it yet. This is why it had to make the list. So, comprendre. The first nasal sound is nasal O. You will pronounce it when you see O-N, O-M. And it is very similar to nasal A. So, well, again, this nasality pushing the air up, the same. What's similar to nasal A is that we do not move our jaw and we also, lips are rounded. What's different is that we are even more rounded right now and now our lips are even more closed up. So the thing with vowels is that the way you move your mouth shapes the sound itself. So by just changing a little bit something, you're gonna change the way you sound. So right now, instead of pronouncing on, At the beginning, we'll say on, on. You see how closed everything is. On, con, con, con. I can feel how I push it right here. Con, comprendre, prendre, nasal A. If you've made it till now, know that I am super proud of you, as always, because it takes a lot of patience and time to practice these hard and frustrating sounds in just any foreign language that you learn. So I am very happy you've made it till now. Don't forget to check out the other video about French nasal sound and practice with the song by Stromae. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, like it and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Merci beaucoup. À bientôt.